especially within the African American community, though he does serve everyone. He's a registered advisor who has successfully created one of the fastest growing online financial education platforms that exists today. I've got to read just a couple of his stats because they're incredible. He's helped more than 22,000 people improve their credit score more than 2.3 million points. Absolutely. He's removed over 244,000 negative items from their credit reports, pay and help individuals pay off over $4 million in debt, and most importantly, invest over $15 million. So it's no surprise that he's known as Mr. Money Savvy. Let's give a gracious welcome to Mr. Kenny Conwell.
Mama tried to keep me at home, but a lot of street.
You guys hear me? So I am excited to share this information with you guys. So the people on this side of the room, I'm sorry, there's no PowerPoint that you can see. So I'm gonna do my best to stay on this side so you can at least see my words, see my lips. But what I'm gonna be covering is over here, all right? So many of you guys in here are entrepreneurs, and what I've realized as an entrepreneur was that my cash flow and my credit were the two biggest things that helped me grow my business. So what I'm gonna do is give you guys specific steps you can take today to take your credit to the next level, because as I'm gonna cover in today's training, once you have the credit score that you deserve, you can go out and get money from the banks. All right, can we agree that's gonna be a powerful thing? Get money from the banks? All right, so, and those of you that, again, I'm gonna stay on this side. If you can't see it, just try to listen to me. If you need me to repeat it, I will, all right? So, my name is Kenny Conwell. Thank you, Donnie, for bringing me up. That was a great introduction. I feel like I'm 8 feet tall after hearing that. But I didn't always start off where I am right now. So this training is for you if your credit score starts with a 4, a 5, or a 6. Now, this is a no judgment zone because, as you'll hear, I was a financial advisor, still am, and I had bad credit, right? I had messed up finances. So if your credit score starts with these digits, it's okay. If you're an entrepreneur or a business professional and you need help, this is for you, right? If you're looking to purchase a car, a home, business loan, like I'm telling you guys, getting credit from the bank is powerful to help you grow your business. This is for you. If you're tired of accepting a lower quality of life. So how many people like to accept more interest, more fees because your credit score is messed up? I'll show of hands. Nobody, right? So this is gonna be for you because I'm gonna cover what you can do to get past that. So my story. So I got started in the industry back in 2007 at A&T. Any Aggies? Aggie Pride? That's what I'm talking about. So I got started at A&T, and I graduated May 2009. And my story started, my goal when I was in college wasn't to be able to get a job when I graduated, right? I wanted to start my own business. That was my goal. And when I left college, I became an independent advisor. Joined a company in Charlotte, North Carolina. They allow you to be in business for yourself and not by yourself. And while at that company, I started doing my thing. I was selling insurance primarily and some investments. And going through this journey, I didn't realize, and this is the key, has nothing to do with credit, but if you're an entrepreneur, don't get caught up on the big deal, right? Don't get caught up on the big deal, because what I did was I was 22, 23, making 30, 40, 50 grand a year, progressively self-employed. Right? So if you make that money self-employed, nobody pays you a salary, that is impressive, because it's very difficult to create income for yourself. So me coming in at 25 years old, I'm like, well, I want to supercharge this process. And I have people in the room that can verify this for me. My mom's even in the room, and she'll verify it for me, right? So I was like, you know what? I want to make $100,000 this year. So I pieced together this business deal, and I leveraged my credit, leveraged my cash flow, borrowed money from other people, and when it was all said and done, I was gonna make 100 grand. Guess what happened, guys? The deal didn't go through. I had to move back in with my mom. Thank you, Mom. Moved back in with her and my father. My car went out for repossession, which she was co-signed on, by the way. And I hit rock bottom. And I was talking with my old roommate, who's in the room, who's my business partner, I couldn't even pay my half of the rent. I couldn't pay my half of the rent that we had together because this deal went south. So I was talking to him. I was like, you know what? I need to get a job. So I moved to Atlanta, and one of my friends that I had owed money to, she called me and was like, Kenny, when she called me, I was like, I don't got the money. When she called me, I picked up the phone, was like, I ain't got it. And she was just like, no, Kenny, I'm not calling you to tell you about the money. I'm calling you to tell you about this opportunity in Atlanta. And it was a sales job, and an interview, got the job. And from there, that's when I started my rebuild process. So here's another key for entrepreneurs. If you have to humble yourself and go get a guaranteed income for the time being, it's okay, right? It's okay. That's what I had to do. So went to that company, became top salesperson in the first 4 months. And that's when I started my process. Left that company September 2013, and started my own insurance brokerage and financial brokerage here in Atlanta. And those of you, how many people in Atlanta, how many people in this room are from Atlanta? By a show of hands, right? So when I say I've been all over Atlanta selling insurance, I've been all over Atlanta. I've been trapping, that's why I call it trapping insurance. Right, seriously, because I would show up at people's doorsteps and was like, hey, look, you sent this back to me. And that's what I had to do. Started making 6 figures in 2015. And at this point, making 6 figures in my business as a self-employed person, I still had bad credit. So I was like, man, something's got to give. I've got to put myself in a better position so I can start leveraging the bank's money. Because one thing most people would know that know me, I didn't move. I just stayed in I moved probably 3 times I've been in Atlanta. And the reason why I didn't move back then, because I had bad credit, right? And I knew the apartment complexes wasn't going to improve me. So I stayed put, right? I stayed put. And now what I've been able to do, I started that process maybe in 2015, the journey. And in February of 2016, I improved my credit score 224 points. And I was like, wow, just by figuring it out, going through this process. And that's what I'm going to cover with you guys today is what you can do to fix your credit yourself or potentially hire us, right? So and this is a screenshot showing I was at a 523, went up to a 747, and now I have several cards, I have bank's money, I leverage money all the time. So why I'm here, my life goal, to keep it real with you guys, is to eliminate the wealth gap in the African American community by 10% before I die. That's what I'm going to do, right? That is what I'm going to do. My 10-year goal is to help 1 million people get a 700 credit score plus, right? And as Ms. Wiggins already said, it was 22,000. I wrote that by. It was actually 24,000 at this point. Is to help people, right? That's the goal, especially us, right? Because if we can have financial empowerment, we can make different decisions and we can have a better trajectory for our families. So I believe, and I say this all the time, your credit score, and this is something I had to learn, just because I was making 6 figures didn't mean that justified a good credit score. Your credit score is a 3-digit number that reflects your financial behavior. Your bank account balance, your savings account balance is a 1, maybe negative, depending upon where you are, no judgments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-digit number that reflects your financial behavior. So if you want to change your score, if you want to change your bank account balance, you've got to change your behavior, right? You've got to change the way you think about this stuff. So we already covered that, but basically it's 23,000 people I've helped improve their scores, and I'm going to keep on going. So there's some customer results right here. I'm real big on results because you don't have to, you can listen to my story. My story is cool, but again, it's the people that I've helped, right? It's the people that I've helped and the people we're going to continue to help, right? So there's just people just showing in our Facebook group the results that they've been able to get from our program. Several people in the 700 club, getting them to the 600 club. These are recent results of people who have gotten results from what we do, right? It's not a scam, right? The information works, right? It's just about getting the proper information, which I'm going to cover today, and then applying that information in your life, and then you now can behave differently. So I need you guys to block out about 25 minutes at this point because this is what I'm going to cover. So grab your pens and paper. Grab your pens and paper. So the first thing I'm going to break down is how your credit score is determined, okay? The second thing, the most important thing I'm going to break down is how to clean your glass. Now, many of you guys are like, clean my glass? What do you mean? So, number one, how to clean your glass. Number two, what I'm going to cover is how to put ice in a glass. All right, and then number three, I'm going to cover how to pour clean water in the glass. Now, I didn't get this at first when I first improved my score. I didn't get this concept. You guys are going to get after it in, so you can apply this. So, by a show of hands, before I get to that, I'm just going to break this down first. So, how your credit score is determined. A lot of people think, and it's okay because this is a part of it, but a lot of people think simply paying your bills on time is all you need to do to fix your credit. That's what you need to do to maintain your credit. What about the history? So 35% of your score, guys, is history. 35% is history. What you did, right? What you did. 30% is how you're using it, your utilization. 10% has to do with new credit. 15, the length of credit. And then the last percentage, the 10%, is your credit mix. Now, this is very, very important for you guys to understand, because once you get this, once you at least address the 35% and the 30%, you're 65% away of putting yourself in a good position to have a good credit score. Now, by a show of hands, who would drink clean water from a dirty glass? Anybody? Nobody's going to do that? What if you're thirsty? You ain't got no water. You still ain't going to do it? Makes no sense. We would not drink clean water from a dirty glass. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if your credit score is messed up, guess what you got? A dirty glass, right? So step one, we got to do what? We have to do what? Because we have what in the glass? So we need to clean our glass. So what makes you think the banks want to put their clean water in your dirty glass? Right? They don't. They don't want to do that. So cleaning the glass means, this is step one, guys. Cleaning the glass means that we need to remove all negative items. Okay? All negative items. We will remove collections. So I'll spend some time on this. Never, ever, ever, ever pay a collection agency, right? Because it's already been charged off as bad debt. And when you pay the collection, it's just going to be as bad as having it on your report, because it's going to show paid collection. Almost like this. If you, how many meal preppers do I have in the room? Right? You ever clean like one of those Tupperware bowls and you still had the stain in the bowl after you cleaned it? Right? Spaghetti sauce? Right? That's what a paid collection looks like. You're still going to have that stain there. So we got to get it off, right? So late payments, missed payments, hard inquiries, public records, and there's another one called personal identifiers. And personal identifiers has to do with your name, your address, your employer. So I'll spend a little bit of time on this. So if you are applying for credit and you're trying to get money from the bank and you got 3 different names, 7 different addresses, 4 different employers, what do you think the underwriter is going to say when they look at that? And your credit's bad, by the way. They're going to be like, how am I going to get my money back? She got 4 different names, 7 different addresses. So we need to make sure with our personal identifiers, we get those things removed and have one name that's on your identification, 1 current address, and 1 employer. So that's number 1, right? Cleaning the glass. Now, once we've cleaned the glass, this is an example of what it looks like. So if you have Credit Karma, this is, if you have a whole bunch of red on your Credit Karma, not a big deal, not judging you, we need to get the green, right? So for those of you on this side, this slide is showing utilization. And to keep this simple with utilization, if I have $800 in available credit, meaning the bank gave me $800 that I can use, I don't need to go past 30%. This person is using 122%. So what we need to do is pay that bad boy down, right? Because if we have utilization that's over 100%, we got to get that back. It doesn't look like we can be trusted, right? Now, once we've done that, we also want to make sure we remove missed or late payments. Now, when it comes to missed or late payments, there's two ways you can go about doing this. The first way is you can actually call your creditor and request that they remove the late payment. Chances are when you do that, if you don't have any leverage, i.e. good payment history, they're going to say, no, I'm not doing that. It's been reported accurately. Choice number two is you can remove the account from reporting on your credit file completely. You want to get the late payments removed because that goes into your algorithm. The other thing is collections. I've already covered this. Do not pay a collection unless you get in writing up front that they're going to remove that collection from your report, which they probably won't. That's called a pay for delete letter. But most people still pay their collections and then they got that stain on their report, right? So once we've cleaned the glass, step two is put ice in the glass. We want to put ice in the glass. And what this means is we want to start to establish new accounts. Now, this is a common question. Many people say, well, Kenny, can I start doing this and my credit's not already where it needs to be? Well, the answer is yes, if you go to get specific accounts. Because what you want to do is, step one, we're cleaning the glass. So there's no negatives there. But now, guess what we have to do? We have to get credibility. Everybody say credibility. That's what credit means. So how do we get credibility? We need to show that we can be trusted. How do we be trusted? By our behavior, which means I need to go ahead and establish new credit history, right? I want to lower my credit card utilization. So 30% and below is what we need to be at, right? 30% and below. We want to get an unsecured revolving line of credit, which means the bank or whatever lending institution is giving me money without collateral. So if I can make good on this, then that means they'll want to give me more, right? They want to give me more. I want to establish a credit builder account and then get a secure card. So a lot of people on this step only do the secure card. Now, secure cards are good, but it's not enough, right? It's not enough because you're still using your own money to get that secure card. So here, you can start this process with specific accounts while you're still cleaning your glass because you can start building that history. So once all the negatives are removed, then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months of payments. All right? Now, once we've done that, we want to, guess what, guys? Pour clean water in a glass. Pour clean water in a glass. Now, did you guys know that you can purchase good history? Good credit history. Let me break it down for you. White folks have been doing this for years. Nothing against white folks, by the way. Right? Right? So, this is how this works. Let's just say I have a Chase credit card. Let's say I had this Chase credit card for 15 years. I've never ever missed a payment. And then I add you to my Chase credit card as an authorized user. Guess who automatically gets 15 years of good history? You guys do, right? People go wrong by doing this because they want to go out and purchase trade lines. There's nothing wrong with buying trade lines. Trade lines is a great thing. However, some of you probably have heard, oh, go buy a trade line. That'd be good. That's all you need to do. But guess what you're doing if you purchase a trade line, you got dirt in your glass? Drinking, somebody said it. Drinking dirty water. That don't make no sense. So what we want to do is make sure when we do this step, we've cleaned the glass, we have ice in the glass, then we can add this to our file. So the reason why we do this is going to give us instant credibility. So if I clean my glass, I have maybe 1-2 years of history, and I have my own established accounts, but I've only had them for 2 or 3 months, and I want to go out and apply for some more bigger lines, I need to have some credibility on my file. So this is the easiest way to do it. You can buy it or you can become an authorized user for free. Now, the reason why people buy authorized user trade lines is because they don't know people with good credit, right? They don't know people with good credit. If you know somebody with good credit and become an authorized user, make sure that that person has already proven that they can be responsible with their authorized user account. I remember a good buddy of mine came to me like 3 or 4 years ago when I was learning all this stuff. He had a $500 credit card. I had a $500 credit card. He was like, hey, Kenny, man, we just established his accounts. I'll make you an authorized user and you become an authorized user of mine. And at first, because I didn't understand how it worked, it sounded good. But that is not going to really help me because we don't have any track record, right? We don't have any track record. So that's what we want to do with this step, pour clean water in the glass. Now, this is what a clean glass of iced water looks like. We have 0 to 1 hard inquiries, 13 accounts, no derogatories, utilization below 30%, and payment history is at least 99% plus. The only thing this person would need to do is just buy a trade line. So if we're looking at the excellent credit score calculation, it's real simple. On the right-hand side, it's showing what bad credit looks like. In bad credit, very poor, and I'm not going to embarrass anybody, but if your credit score is poor, then you probably have 75% utilization. Your payment history is below 97%. You have more than one derogatory account, which it's okay, you can get that off. You have less than 2 years of history. You have multiple hard inquiries, and you have no or little to no credit accounts. Versus excellent credit is 0 to 9% utilization. So even though I've said that you want to make sure it's below 30%, my suggestion is never spend in cash what you don't have in credit. Never spend on credit what you don't have in cash. So if you have $1,000 cash and you have $1,000 in credit, even though you have available credit of $50,000 in this example, if you cannot pay that back, don't spend it. Only spend on credit what you have in cash. So this is what excellent credit looks like. It's real simple, guys. But when it was broken down to me, I was like, man, this is awesome. But this is how you get excellent credit, right? So to recap, number 1, we want to do what? Number 2, we want to put, right? And then number 3, we want to, right? And this is how you get a 700 credit score in 90 days or less. Now, the question then becomes, how do I clean my glass, right? So common question most people ask me is, Kenny, how can I hire you? Or can you do this for me, right? Because when it comes to cleaning your glass, there's different cleaning solutions you can use. Makes no sense to use bleach for your contacts, right? You wouldn't do that, would you? Or clean your toilet with Windex. But both of those are really good cleaning solutions. So what you want to do is put yourself in a position to where you can get this stuff removed from your credit score as fast as possible, right? So, and the other thing I tell people, when it comes to fixing your credit, you're either going to invest with your time or you're going to invest with your money. But either way, you got to make some type of investment. So there's 2 types of people in this audience. There's people who want to do it themselves, and then there's people who want to hire somebody, right? People who want to do it themselves, then people who want to hire somebody. So by a show of hands, who wouldn't mind learning how to fix their credit themselves? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Text, right here, I want you to text 678, text DIY to 678-737-4811. That's DIY.
So say the number again. It says DIY.
So what you want to do is text 678-737-4811, and you're texting DIY for everybody who wants to do it themselves. Now by a show, DIY. So text DIY to 678-737-4811. Now by a show of hands, who wants to hire somebody to do this for them? Okay. All right. So the people who want to hire somebody, you can hire us. And I want you to text DFY, done for you. Done for you. That's what it means. So text DFY to the same number, 678-737-4811. So what I've done prior to this meeting, I've helped so many people with their credit. My basis for my company is financial education first. So teaching you guys how to fish so you can know how to catch your fish yourself. So we're going to give you the education that you need to do this stuff yourself. Now, I also include with my program everything you're going to need under the sun to get the negative items removed. So basically all the cleaning solution. So you've got bankruptcies, student loans, charge-offs, collections. It's all in there. Everything you need to do it yourself. Also, how many people in here want to get business credit? Okay. So in my program, I show you step by step how to go out and apply for credit cards when you're ready for instant approval. Many people don't realize that there's a science behind filling out credit card applications. So when you go out and you have the ice in the glass and now you're applying for credit, there's specific companies and accounts you want to use to obtain credit. Can you guys hear me? Perfect. All right. So all of that stuff's included inside of our program. All right. And then I have a bonus that I'm offering as well. So there's something called Goodwill letter templates, 26 additional templates that you'll have access to, dealing with collection agencies. Also, what we're going to do is help you get approved. Who wants to get approved for an additional $11,400 in new credit right now, guaranteed? By a show of hands. All right. I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, what we're going to do is give you access to a private Facebook support group. And I'm going to throw in my cash flow control system as well. So total value, guys, is $17,000. And then lastly, if you want to do it yourself, you still have the opportunity to do it. You don't have to hire us. Again, you can do this yourself. You'll still get access to my credit enhancement system, all the modules, all the templates. We're just not going to do it for you. So you guys have the resources that you need to be able to take your credit to the next level. And really, you just need to decide, do I want to do this myself or do I want to hire somebody to do it? Either way, you deserve to have excellent credit. So my last thing I want to leave you guys with, as I'm wrapping up, I remember when I would call American Express, and these jokers would charge me for calling them. And the reason why is because my credit was messed up, right? I remember that. I remember my mom having a co-sign for me for the Mustang that I got. That went out for repossession, by the way, because I was bad with my finances, right? I remember that. And now I have 4 American Express cards, right? Platinum, gold, I don't know the other one. I have 2 gold, 1 platinum, and then like a easy pay one. The reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys is because I took action, right? I took action. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I did what I needed to do to take my credit to the next level. So you guys deserve to take action when it comes to fixing your credit, because it's going to help you take your life to the next level. It will, right? It will. So if you want to get that car, you want to get that home, you want to get that job, you want to get that business deal, whatever it is, your credit score is going to help you do that. And then once you improve your credit, because I believe once you have a good credit score, you can now take advantage of this American dream. So you can start leveraging your credit to build wealth. So it makes no sense to start trying to get invested in the stock market, start trying to start a business. Again, I'm not knocking business because you want to do that, but it makes no sense to start trying to build wealth if I don't got my credit in order, right? But once I do that, it now graduates me to be able to start putting myself in a position to build wealth so I can increase my cash flow, lower my taxes, and start building wealth. So that's all I have, guys. It was good speaking with you.
Okay, so we have time for like 3 questions, but there was a question on the live stream they didn't catch. Questions in the audience? Show of hands. Stand up and say it loud.
Hey everyone, so I have one dispute that I was trying to go for, and I was trying to get it off my credit, and so I sent mail to all 3 credit bureaus, but it came back to denied because I think the credit, the lien holder of the medical bill
Right.
So that I still owe them. And they sent me a letter 30 days after. Should I still try to dispute it or just pay it off?
All right, so look me up on YouTube. There's something called Section 609.
You said,
Yeah, Kenny Conwell. And I cover this. Kenny Conwell. But what you want to use is something called Section 609 for that, to get that removed. Because what they're doing is they're violating your HIPAA rights.
you said section
609.
609? Wasn't there a letter of intent to dispute it?
What I would do if I were you is I would redispute that item using Section 609. Okay. Great question. Any other questions? Right. All right, so the question was, once you get your credit score to a certain rate, how do you manage that to negotiate certain rates? Okay, great question. So what you want to do when you have you want to apply, you want to do your research first. So if I'm let's just say I'm with Bank of America, right? And I've already been approved for a Bank of America loan. You can go to another lender and say, hey, look, I've already been approved at this rate. And then go to the other lender, they'll do a soft pull and say, can you beat it? And then once you come with an approval, that will give you leverage to either get a better rate. Does that make sense? You got a question?
Yeah, if you have a derogatory mark on your score, you said don't pay off with collection people. Who do you advise to pay?
Okay, this is a really good question. If you have a derogatory remark on your credit report collection, who do you pay? Now, I want to give you guys a dissertation on this, but let's just say, how many entrepreneurs we have in the room? All right, let's just say, I'll answer your question this way. Let's just say I made $10 million in my business. How many would love that, right? $10 million. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And if I made $10 million in my business, then I'm gonna have to pay taxes on about 40% of that. Let's just say that of my $10 million that I made in my business, $2 million was never collected. So what these companies do is they take that $2 million and they write it off as bad debt. So what does this mean? This means we take $2 million from the $10 million that I made as a business, and now I'm only gonna pay taxes on the $8 million. So what this means is that business received negative income. They wrote that tax off, that collection as bad debt. So they've been made whole again. Now they turn around and they resell said collection for pennies on the dollar. So basically, without me being unprofessional, screw them, right? I would want to say something else, but you're gonna pay them because they've already been made whole again.
All right, guys, let's give it up for Kenny Conwell.